Good afternoon, bonjour à tous. My name is Bjorn Dawson, and I'm one of the founders of Grobo, based out of Waterloo in Canada. We no longer know our food. Just think about what you ate today. Do you know where it was grown? Do you know who grew it? How many days, weeks, or months ago did they actually harvest it? How far did it travel to get here? And did they use any potentially harmful chemicals or pesticides? These are just a few of the many questions that we're no longer able to answer because we've become disconnected from how our food is produced. And as a result, the quality of food that we consume today is worse than it has ever been before. At Grobo, our mission is to make it easy for everyone to grow their own natural, fresh, and pesticide-free food right at home all year long. And we're taking the Tesla approach to this problem by starting with a premium product that's beautifully designed, functions flawlessly, and revolutionizes all of the underlying technology that's required for mass home-growing adoption. So this is Grobo, the most advanced home-growing system ever created. We started by making Grobo easy to use. Simply add your favorite seeds, tell our app what you planted, and sit back and relax. Using an array of sensors, Grobo constantly monitors the plant's environment 24 hours a day to ensure that your plants always have the best growing conditions. But that's just the start. We've spent hundreds of hours designing our proprietary LED lighting system to include cutting-edge technology such as far-red LEDs. This very unique color of red light simulates the sunset and allows us to grow plants up to 17% faster than traditional on-off lighting. And this is technology that has never been available to consumers before. When you take that and you add it to our extremely precise nutrient dosing system that knows exactly how many milliliters of every nutrient your plant is absorbing, we can consistently grow the highest yields in the shortest amount of time. Now, as beautiful as Grobo is, the magic and the core is actually in the software. And it starts with our preset growing recipes. Then, as your plant grows, you receive push notifications reminding you to fill up the water reservoir. And we actually predict the exact date when your plants will be ready for harvest. And that's never been done before. We can do this because we use large amounts of machine learning and analytics to process all of the data that we receive and continuously optimize our growing recipes. This is actually a core competitive advantage for us because it can easily scale to larger vertical and home growing systems in the future. In fact, our true vision is to have a Grobo in every home, producing a consistent amount of herbs, greens, and vegetables for families to enjoy. Now, this is a big challenge, but we have the team to pull it off. Our team of proven experts across engineering, horticulture, and marketing are ready to bring this to market, and we are supported by some of the top investors, entrepreneurs, and plant researchers from around the world. As a team, we actually spent the first 4 months of this year living in Shenzhen, China, and working out of HAX, the world's top hardware accelerator, building multiple functioning prototypes. Since then, we opened up pre-orders in mid-August of this year and sold over 400 units within 5 weeks at $1,000 US a piece. And that doesn't include any of the recurring revenue that we gain from sales of nutrients down the road. In addition, we've also closed a seed round of over $750,000 US, and we're excited because we'll be starting our shipping next April of all of our units around the world. But this is really just the beginning, because we believe that the future of food is home growing, and the future of home growing is Grobo. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
What would be the cost differential for the food what you produce? I mean, this might make sense for few markets in the world, but I mean, it's not feasible for all across the world, right? So what's the price differential going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where on food, when we talk about a premium product, we really can't compete very effectively on ROI. So where we're seeing a lot of pickup in the markets would be in areas like Hong Kong, for example, where they have food concerns because most of their food's coming from China. And so that's how we're able to do it today. Our next systems will be larger once the technology can become more affordable, and then we will have a case on the ROI front.
Right. If the tech becomes larger and how are you going to put in a house format, right? It's how you every house that's in New York, no one has a place to keep anything at home, right? I mean, they don't have a place for living properly. So I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, When we talk about the technology and talking about making it larger, the maximum size we're looking at is about the size of a refrigerator right now. We can do that because we're using technology such as LEDs, which are becoming exponentially cheaper, but are still expensive today because they're not widely used. So those are some of the different factors that come into account. So to give you an idea of what we can produce, we're growing a tomato plant right now. It's about this tall, and it has 15 tomatoes on it. That's something that you would never expect outdoors because they're normally massive and multiple feet tall. That's the kind of production levels that we're looking for.
Thanks. How many person can be fed with this product?
Great question. So this unit specifically is designed to grow one plant extremely well, which is why right now we're seeing people growing tomatoes, for example, and you can grow a large number, growing unique peppers, chilies, things like that. In the future, our goal is to feed a family, but again, this is sort of that first step. And that's why we equate it to a bit of the Tesla model, right? Where you can't drive super far with the first one, now you can. We're looking at sort of that three-step plan as well.
No, that's more a comment, but it's in line with your question about the people. In the beginning of your speech, you said that food quality has never been so bad. Well, can you prove that? Because in my point of view, it has never been so good. And also, isn't it contradictory? Because if you grow one plant of tomato, and you have, even if you have 15 tomatoes on your plant, and you have a family with 2 people and 2 children, maybe you will have 1 or 2 meals. So you will need to buy other foods anyway, right? So isn't it a little bit confusing? And also, from a sustainable point of view, how do you, what do you have to say from a, let's say, sustainable point of view, electricity, water, and things like that?
Yeah, great question. Again, you're correct that you're not going to be able to feed everybody at this point in time. When we look at the sustainability factor of it, and even food, so being from North America, Canada, our food in Canada, specifically during the winter months, is fairly poor because most things are shipped in literally thousands of kilometers and are at least a week old by the time we get them into a grocery store. So when I say the quality is poor, that's what we're looking at. Europe has better rules on that front, but Canada and the US do not. In terms of sustainability, we are very effective with both energy and water use. This system right now uses just under sort of $60 Canadian a year in power for the entire year, and you're pulling sort of 5 or 6 crops out of it during that time, and we're effective with water, but still quantifying that. Thank you.